Alright, so apparently Super Saiyan 4, the DAIMA version, has some links to Super Saiyan God, according to our friend Saiyan Scholar, so let's check this out.
Trending for obvious reasons, but why is Super Saiyan God also trending right now? We're going to talk about some potential links between Super Saiyan 4 and God in this video, some things which may or may not play out, and if you're a fan of either, hit the like on this video and let's ascend together. Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan God, and Legendary Super Saiyan are my favorite transformations in the entire franchise, all from different points and series within. But what I really enjoyed about Super Saiyan God in Dragon Ball Super was first the fact I thought it was the perfect setup to bring Dragon Ball back after a long hiatus. The theme of the gods was so captivating to me back then, but also
I don't know if I agree. I always found the whole Super Saiyan God stuff kind of weird and out of place, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Were you like, yeah, this makes sense? Or were you like, what's going on?
the mystery surrounding the first ever Super Saiyan God from many years before Goku had it. I always wanted to see that play out more, maybe even in its own special one day, my dream will come true. But of course, with the introduction of Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball DAIMA, creating a new version of the classic GT form, it now sets up for different lore surrounding it that will connect to Toriyama's canon and not strictly Toei Animations. And what I mean by that is DAIMA Super Saiyan 4 being involved or linked to the theme of the gods in Dragon Ball Super. As we know, Super Saiyan 4 in GT is separate in lore and continuity from Super, much like Z Broly is separate from Dragon Ball Super Broly. It's like Legendary Super Saiyan in the movies compared to Super. We can't apply Z Broly's legendary form scaling to Dragon Ball Super Broly against Gogeta Blue, because we all know Z Legendary Super Saiyan doesn't even reach a Super Saiyan 2 multiplier. Their lores can't coexist in the same story, and the character form and overall lore was modified for Super, which is expected with Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball DAIMA now. Why does Super Saiyan 4 in DAIMA have these colors? Firstly, it separates it from GT's Super Saiyan 4, and in my opinion, is just as amazing but in its own way. The pinky red hair all over, including the silver glow, really captures the vibe of the demon world and magical concepts within. But interestingly,
to be honest, when it comes to the design, obviously they have to change it up, right? They can't just copy the same thing. I mean, we saw this with even Super Saiyan 3, the Vegeta version, right? It's a little bit different, and I'm actually digging the fact that they're making these differences, right, between their transformation. I'm hoping that if Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 4, also his transformation is going to look different. To be honest, I feel like if this was going to be a demon world transformation, I would have hoped that it looked a little bit more demon-like, if that makes sense.
In DAIMA, isn't it interesting that the eyes and hair are the exact same color as Super Saiyan God? I've got this feeling that this familiar color scheme design choice for Super Saiyan 4 in DAIMA wasn't by accident. Sure, it could be done just as a pop to Super Saiyan God, bringing in Super Saiyan 4 and coating it with that godly theme, just for aesthetic purposes, but I truly believe Toriyama gave it the Super Saiyan God color palette for a reason. Whereas Super Saiyan God in Dragon Ball Super feels godly in an elegant way, DAIMA's version of Super Saiyan 4 feels godly in a primal, ancient, Sun Wukong deity kind of way. Considering Super Saiyan God is a natural Saiyan form as 6 mortal Saiyans create it, it's in their genetic code to become a Super Saiyan God. Even with the right training, they don't need a ritual. So the real question is, does Super Saiyan 4 in the Dragon Ball Super continuity of events link to the original Super Saiyan God? Right now, it's hard to tell how strong DAIMA Super Saiyan 4 is because we don't know the true depths of the Third Eye's power. The Third Eye's power could be dozens, hundreds, thousands, or millions at its full potential. We do not know yet. But in this fight, Super Saiyan 4 definitely doesn't feel as much of a leap from Super Saiyan 3 that Super Saiyan God felt like in Battle of Gods 3 years from this point in the story. Again, I'm talking about how it feels. Statements can be totally different, but we weren't given hardly anything on Super Saiyan 4 in terms of dialogue in episode 18. Only time will tell what's in store for the rest of the power of Super Saiyan 4 in DAIMA, but as of right now, I still feel like Super Saiyan God is the stronger transformation unless something is stated. Even though this level appears less powerful than Battle of Gods and Super Saiyan God, it should be noted.
I don't know how they're going to handle is that it really did make it seem, obviously how unnatural the Super Saiyan God form was. It made it seem like that was the quote-unquote natural progression based on the ritual and the quote-unquote hints that they put out there, where it made it seem like, oh, this is the next natural step. So I don't know where that leaves Super Saiyan 4 in the grand scheme of things, although Gohan has beast mode, so, or beast form, whatever you want to call it, so that is a deviation from this you know, Super Saiyan God path, right? So there could be a place where, like, do we almost become like Digimon, if you will? Like, depending on the fight, then you choose a different form, right? Like, oh, well, maybe Super Saiyan 4 or whatever you want to call it is adept to certain types of fighting, right? And, you know, battling certain types of individuals where maybe you need speed or raw power or something like that, whereas, you know, Super Saiyan God or Ultra Instinct or Ultra Ego are geared for another type of enemy, right? So I mean, that could be kind of cool, because then it would add some utility to all of these different transformations, if that makes sense. It's not just like, oh, the next power up.
that its presence and concept for Daima's version of Super Saiyan 4 feels godly in a different way. In GT, Super Saiyan 4 didn't feel like a god, but in Daima, and because Toriyama worked on it, I can't shake the feeling that its presence is radiating Sun Wukong vibes more than ever. As we all know, Sun Wukong is a god, and even if Daima Super Saiyan 4 isn't reaching Battle of Gods power levels, it doesn't mean it can't be a deity in the Dragon Ball verse. There are many deities that don't reach Battle of Gods levels, and it's not like Never's abilities and wisdom are ideal for just some stand-up magician show. He's the being that awakened Daima Super Saiyan 4. The strength of his own Porunga finger-flicking King Goma combined with the power of his own created Tamagamis and hack abilities are well deserving of the title of god than most Kais in Dragon Ball Z. But again, it's just my gut feeling that Daima's version of Super Saiyan 4 has some deep lore connections to Saiyan gods, and that's something I would love to see play out even more, as a fan of Super Saiyan 4 and the god concepts in Super. The obvious difference to the magical aspect of Dragon Ball Daima Super Saiyan 4 compared to GT Super Saiyan 4, it portrayed itself more following the primal roots and the evolution from the Uzan.
I think that the final question that I want to ask you guys before we end this is, do we think that Super Saiyan 4, the Daima version, will be stronger than Ultra Instinct, for example? Or will it be like a weaker form? Like, what do you guys think? Where in the power level scheme will this form land? You know, when we have Ultra Ego, Ultra Instinct, Beast form, whatever Piccolo, Orange Piccolo's transformation is. Like, where do we think that Super Saiyan 4 will land? I highly doubt, unfortunately, that it will be like beyond a Super Saiyan God level. I would be surprised if that's the case. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that this Super Saiyan 4 version does have some linking to Super Saiyan God in any way? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, just want to remind you that we must persevere. Peace.